Well, Tom, thank you for joining me on game day. You're not going to, beat around the bush. We're just beating bottom of the league, Burton 1-0. It was not a good watch, was it?
It wasn't. It wasn't a good watch. If you'd have, I knew this call was coming, and up to the 78th minute, I was expecting this call to be even worse than it possibly was going to be. So at least, we got the 3 points and the win, and let's get the positives out of the way first. We won. We won 1-0. We got a clean sheet away from home. That's probably the end of my positives. I was thinking kind of how to approach this, and when I was watching the game, I actually watched it with a little bit more intent, knowing I was going to have to speak about it after the final whistle. What I've struggled to understand all throughout the season, more than anything, apart from maybe why is Paul Lambert's still our manager, one thing I tried to understand is what is our game plan going into games? What are we trying to do in order to score goals, in order to create chances, in order to impress ourselves upon the opposition? And I've watched almost every game this season for Ipswich on my sofa. And I know the TV cameras only show certain parts of the game, according to Marcus Evans. League One games mean that the game will normally be more open than a high division game. There will be chances, or there'll at least be opportunities to have a good chance. So the ball will break to a player, the ball will come out wide, a cross can come in, one key pass could put someone in. But the problem we have, and I don't know whether this is the lack of quality with the players or the fact that they're just out of form or don't have any confidence right now. Every time the key moment comes in a big piece of attacking play, whether it be we need to do a through ball to get someone in, a good cross needs to come in, a good touch needs to be had so there can be a shot getting off. Every single time we get to that point, it doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen for anyone. And that little moment of quality and that ability to create good chances is what separates good League One sides from average League One sides from bad League One sides. We are not a great League One side at all. And to be honest, you look at the last few games, we're not an average League One side either, at the way that we're playing at the moment. I don't understand how it's gotten to the point where this is the problem. This is happening. I don't know what they work on in training. I don't know where the confidence has gone from even the start of the season, because, okay, it's the same as last season where we started off like a train. Maybe the performances didn't merit the points and the results we were getting, but the goals were there, the wins were there. And yes, we got a win today with a goal, but it's just so bad to watch, so bad to watch. If you're blessed with the gift of, even if you're not blessed with the gift of sight, but if you're blessed with the gift of sight and you've watched that game today, you're an Ipswich fan. First of all, sorry, unlucky. But second of all, don't let the football club, anyone at the football club, tell you anything other than what your eyes have seen. If you've got a brain, you will realise how bad that performance was, how sort of soul-destroying it was, because it's no different to the other games we've had. I mean, the Swindon game last week, exactly the same, just we didn't concede because Burton were inferior in front of goals to what Swindon were. It was awful, absolutely awful. You can't have one shot in the first 42 minutes of the game against bottom of the league. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable for any team. A team in 23rd, that's unacceptable. And that performance will not give anybody any other idea than what they had at the start of the game if they're feeling negative towards the club, towards Lambert. That won't change. The manager will come out now, no doubt, and say something positive. I don't understand how he can do it and not be not serious. It's farcical.
Well, Brad, thank you for joining me as ever on game day. Town have just about beat Burton 1-0 thanks to a Mark McGuinness goal. Your thoughts on that? Well, scruffy and not so good game to watch.
No, terrible game to watch. Firstly, I think it was made by the pitch. It was an awful pitch. And for whatever football we play in our own half, we couldn't even play that today because the ball was just bobbling all over the place. And thankfully, that made us do a bit more direct, which I thought I'd never say. But even with that, we weren't exactly getting the balls into good areas. It was the game for Jackson today. And to see that he travelled in the 18 but didn't even get on the bench, that's the sort of game where you need somebody to run in behind. Norwood did it first half, not quite as successful as he should have been at times. But yeah, it was a just glad to get the win, really. I mean, the first half, it was really, really poor. So poor. Look at players coming in. I think Toto did all right. Almost put a ball in his own net, but he was commanding. Him and McGuinness both showed really, really good aerial strength and physicality, as we know they both have. Would obviously struggle more against Twitter strikers and nippier strikers. Downs coming back in, obviously a positive. So Flynn Downs is, you know what you're going to get from him. He looked a little bit tired towards the end there. I don't think he really wanted 90 minutes, but he is a little bit like Nolan in the way what he actually brings. But then Downs gives you that bite on top of that. So Downs will nip in there. He'll get a little shouldering out of the way to go through. And so he was a really big thing for our midfield today. Just had a lot more structure with him in there. Edwards, unfortunately, was quite anomalous, your boy. But that's my big bugbear, is that they're not getting the ball into him. I think your game plan, if Edwards has been on the form that he had pre-injury, even with this 4-3-3, just get the ball into the wingers quickly and work off them and play off them, because they look like they have no idea how to get the ball into the opposition half at times, and where Burton can play one or two passes and they're suddenly putting a cross into the box. So I don't think that's ever going to change, to be honest, while Lambert's here. But overall, I'm happy with the win. I think Ollie Hawkins probably should come on instead of Drynham, but Drizzy did well. So, but yeah, you've got to move on to the next two games, and thankfully we've took a win into them. So on to the next.
Well, Thomas, thank you for joining me as ever. A win for Town, but it wasn't a good watch, was it? Your thoughts on that win at Burton?
Well, your calls just woke me up, Ross. I heard it ring and then I was instantly woken up now, Jake, and I've watched it all, but I did feel like falling asleep at times. That was dull, that was boring. But to be fair, we got the result that we needed to get. But at the same time, it's against the bottom of the league side who haven't really produced this season. Yes, they've got a new manager, but we should be beating them, and we have. So no real disappointments there. Obviously, he's brought the cavalry back. Yeah, they're not. I guess they're not quite back to fitness yet, but at the same time, it wasn't great, was it? You thought they'd be a bit better than that, and whether it's because they've been out and haven't gelled quite as you want them to be, or in my opinion, the system doesn't work, and it just 4-for-3 is not good enough. Edwards wasn't as good on the left as he was before he was injured. I know he's still not back to match fitness, but it takes time. And the other thing that really got me was the fact that yesterday he was saying how he's learned from 5 or 6 years ago how he wants to sort of develop a system and run with it. Firstly, we had the rotation out last season. I don't want to go into that too much, obviously. We had that last season, and the change of personnel, which we had today, admittedly. You know, I know we lost last week and he had to change it, but he has made 6 changes there, and we got the result, so you can't complain too much. But then for much of the end of last year, we were passing it out of the back for most of the game. And all of a sudden today, we've gone so direct. He's completely changed exactly how we play within a week. Yet we've been told yesterday he doesn't like changing his philosophy too much. He likes to stick at it, and he's learned from the past that he likes to stick with the system that he plays. But today that didn't show that at all. It's completely different. And I think that's partly why it was so boring, because none of the players knew exactly what they needed to do. It was a change of play. We've completely changed the way we wanted to play against Burton. And, you know, he's going against his word again. It's just so hypocritical. Where do we start? But yeah, obviously we've won. I can't complain too much. It's good to get a result. The only trouble is now we've got Peterborough next Saturday, and then we've got Sunderland, and I can't see us beating them. It's going to be a tough couple of games, and you kind of think back to last season again, where we lost to Swindon last week, but we're not going to beat them. I can't see us beating them, and we're just going to be mid-table, just back to the way we were in the Championship, just mediocre mid-table finish side, and it's the only difference is it's League One, and it's just not good enough for us. We need to start producing, and the next 2 games I can't see it happening, and we're just going to keep digressing and going downhill, and it's not good enough. But yeah, to be fair to Chambers as well, just one last thing, good block. just on the line before half time, completely changed to, if that had gone in, completely different course of the game, you know, could have potentially lost it. But yeah, we should be winning that, and we have, and we see what goes from here. See what happens.
Well, John, thank you for joining me as ever. The time for us to have some counselling after watching that terrible, terrible game. A win for Town, but just about against bottom of the league, Burton.
Oh, Ross, why do we do it to ourselves? You know, I tried to be optimistic on Thursday night. I said, oh, no, we won't have a narrow 2-1 victory. We'll have a 4-1. We'll suddenly find some form. I even put some money on it. What a joke. I don't know why I do it to myself. At half-time, I would have had, I tweeted out about, I think I might go and tidy my sock drawer because it'd be more fun. And honestly, what a boring game to watch. I paid a tenner to sit and watch that, like, as all fans will have done, you know, just a boring performance. We've got nothing exciting about it. There was nothing to get excited about there. Even when we scored a goal, I mean, we don't have shots. We don't keep the ball well. We don't. The first 20 minutes, it looked like we've never met each other. Do you know what I mean? It was awful. The team shape gave me a bit of hope that some of the returning players were back. They're not fully fit, I get that, but my God, you know, that it's almost a fully fit team now. Sorry, a fully, almost our first choice team. And we were dreadful. We were playing bottom of the table. Burton, how far have we come? Honestly, I don't wish the man unwell. Like we said the other night, I want him to get over his COVID and his pneumonia and be, but just clear off our club now, please, Mr. Lambert. Honestly, just dreadful. I don't know what you meant to do on a Saturday. You get your hopes up, you watch the game, and you just get stamped on and trodden on, and you feel like, I want to at least have something to enjoy about a game. There was even the 1-0 win. A 1-0, you go okay sometimes, but that was just awful. Like Shrewsbury, Burton twice now. You know, the games are awful. Fed up, Ross. I'm fed up.
Well, David, thank you as ever for joining me on Game Day. I'm just going to insert previous interviews into this because I'm sure it's the same old story, same old words we can say from previous games. But a 1-0 win, it wasn't convincing. And as I said, same old story.
Yeah, it was crap from beginning to end. First off, I was wondering why I'd bothered to pay £10, why I was watching it. You know, I had paint to watch dry. I had some matchsticks to count. Why? It was just not a lot to say about it. No patterns of play, really. Judge was wasted out wide again, having had a couple of good games in the middle. Play people in their proper places. I mean, heart in mouth. Credit to Holy for saving probably Burton's best chance of the game, barring the one that Chambers did, where Toto nearly stuck it in his own net. What on earth he's doing at that point? But yeah, it was chaotic mess. And
Well, Ben, thank you very much for joining me on Game Day. Well, that was a tough watch, wasn't it? A 1-0 win against bottom of the table Burton Albion.
Yeah, it was a tough watch. I'm smiling because we won, but you know, as you've seen, most fans are saying at half time that it was dreadful. The first half would have been a tough watch for anybody. I mean, you know, certainly don't think football fans should have to sit through and you know, whatever you think about iFollow and paying £10, it certainly felt like a waste of money at half time. But you know, we did grind out the results. Yeah, I don't want to come over as ultra, you know, too positive, but you have to say, you know, 3 points away from home. They had the new manager bounce last week when they beat Gillingham away. You know, we've got 3 points to take away, move on. You know, and we move to the next week hoping we will play better. We will do better. We're going to come out with. We were talking before we recorded that, you know, Taylor's come out with some quotes this evening which I haven't seen yet, but. You know, there are positives. If you just take the game in isolation, like I said, they had that new manager bounce. The pitch was dreadful. We've gone away from home. We've got 60 minutes out of Norwood, whether he came off injured or not. You know, if he's okay, it's come off as a precaution, 60 minutes. Downs has got minutes. Edwards has got minutes. McGuinness has got his first senior goal. that's what they're going to come out with. We couldn't score. We were the only team who looked like scoring in the second half. Again, I'm being honest here. I've seen the game as I saw it. When we scored, you're relieved more than ecstatic. But in injury time, I wasn't really that nervous. Maybe it helped that I was having a beer, but they didn't look like scoring. Like, at least with defensively. Toto, you've got to give it to Toto, who's the only change in the back four, and we've kept clean sheet. So fair play to the man. He does give me the fear of God when he dives into the penalty area. But again, he all his tackles were clean today. So fair dues to him. I thought Shea was pretty solid. He made that fantastic block in the first half. I don't really understand what he got booked for. I don't think he was anywhere near the bloke. But Dazelle seemed. I was saying it is all predictable though. We can beat these teams. Norwood got booked, of course he did. Dazelle got booked, of course he did. Maybe Norwood is injured, but there could be another injury. But let's be positive. 1-0. We won the game. We've got loads of games coming up. We've got players back. I thought Bishop looked good. I thought Judge ran around and, in the final third, he was the main person who looked like he might do something, even though he didn't. He did play the free kick for the goal that was deflected, but, there are some positives we can try and cling on to, Ipswich fans. Let's try and be positive when we can, when all around us is doom. So I'm going to keep a smile on my face tonight anyway.